John, what do you enjoy most about speaking in an event such as this?
Getting the message out to kids that, I think, the way sports are now, kids are specializing at a young age, having to make choices at a young age. When you have a kid who's a sixth grader that's already committed to a college, verbally committed to a college, there's some issues there. I was 20 years old, 19 or 20 when I signed. I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't know how these kids at sixth grade know. You get a message out to kids about, it's not handed to you. It's hard. I don't care how good you think you are. You're going to find there's a boatload of people a lot better than you. And it's how you react to those people that are better than you. Can you catch them? Can you meet up? Can you get to that level? I think I don't want to say all kids, but there's a lot of kids that think that it's their right to play, for colleges to want them and for professional sports to want them. Like it's an honor for the sport to have them, and it ain't that way. You're going to be long gone before that sport ever dies out, and just enjoy it. If you get to that level, work, because it's one thing to get there, it's another thing to stay there, and that's the hardest part.
What's the best piece of advice a veteran player or anybody that ever gave you coming up when you were coming up?
Wow. Well, Tony Gwynn gave me some good hitting advice, but we can't talk about that here. Some of it wasn't too clean. Well, it was my dad, actually. And it was when I was, I think I was a ninth grader, and I was playing, my brother and I both pitched. And when I pitched, he played shortstop. And when he pitched, we didn't have a shortstop. And I was left-handed, so my dad said, "You're playing shortstop tonight." And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I made 2 or 3 errors in the first inning. And after I went in the dugout, and I said, I don't want to play shortstop no more. He said, "Okay, that's fine." In colorful language, because my dad was, he wasn't afraid to use bad words. But, he told me in no uncertain terms, "Get your crap and go home." And I said, "What?" And he said, "I'm the coach. I tell you where to play. You don't tell me where you're playing." And he said, "So if you don't want to play shortstop, get your crap and go home, and tell your mom to make you dinner because you're going to get home early tonight." And I'm like, "Oh boy." So I said, "No, you know what? I'll try it." And so all my high school years, when I wasn't pitching, I played shortstop. And it was weird because being left-handed, like I got a lot of kids on other teams that were, yelling at me, "Oh God, you guys must suck. You got a left-handed shortstop." But we did all right. We kind of found our way to certain situations, and it turned out good.
You spoke of Tony Gwynn. What was it like to watch him work every day? And what did you learn from just watching him work every day?
I learned how to hit. I learned how to take batting practice the right way. I was, I didn't really know anything. And, we used to go out early every day, hit early. And, I'm watching him hit, and he's just like, floating balls to left field. And, and I'm trying to hit it, 9 miles out of the ballpark. And he just started laughing at me one day. I'm like, "What are you laughing at?" He said, "You got to be the dumbest redneck I've ever seen in my life." I said, "Why is that?" I mean, first of all, you're from LA. You probably haven't seen many of us. But and I said, "Why is that?" He said, you have no idea how to hit, do you?" I said, "I really don't." I said, it's just, I've never had any lessons. I've never had, we grew up in a small town. We didn't have, it's not like we had people running around town teaching people how to hit. We just did it. I said, "No, I really don't have any idea how to hit." And he said, "All right, good. Then I'm going to teach you." And, he taught me how to work the ball the other way in batting practice and, for the first couple rounds, and then situational hit for the third round, and then the fourth round, hit it where it's pitched. So It was interesting to learn that from him, and it did make me a better hitter because I realized that there's more than one side of the field to use.
That 1993 Phillies team you were on is still revered in Philadelphia today. What made that group of guys so special? What was so fun about playing on that team in particular?
We had a bunch of guys that weren't from the Phillies organization, and we were basically cast-offs. Teams didn't want us, and we just happened to all end up together in Philly. And it took a while though, because I got there in '89, sometime in '89, like in June or July of '89, and they started. That was the first trade. And then, we made a trade with the Mets. We made a trade with the Giants. We got pitching. We got Roger McDowell, Lenny Dykstra from the Mets. And you can see that we were going to get better. And the young pitching came around. And then, I don't know why the Astros ever traded. We traded Jason Grimsley, who struggled with us, and trading for Schilling. And Schilling was a reliever in Houston. And here's this kid comes in, he looked like Brian Bosworth. He had the blonde, dyed blonde hair with the stripes cut out in his head and tattoos and earring. And I as soon as he walked out, I'm like, man, who's this clown? Look at this guy. So he goes down and throws a bullpen session. And Johnny Padres came back, and I said, what do we got with this clown, Pods? He said, we got a #1 starter. I'm like, what? He said, watch. And lo and behold, he did. He became that guy for us, man. But it was, it was a team. People looked at us. We had long hair, we had beards, whatever, and we did things after games that teams now can't do because of these damn iPhones. But the one thing we did know how to do, we knew how to play baseball. We were we were probably the best situational hitting team in the National League that year, and it was all unselfish. We had 3 platoons that normally guys aren't going to buy into a platoon but those 6 players all said, you know what, this is what's going to help us win. This is what we're going to do, and our platoons worked out great. But like I said, it was all very unselfish baseball, which is a rare thing now.
And finally, you got into the cheesesteak game and have a bunch of restaurants. And how did that all come about? And is that something you particularly you're proud of as well?
Yeah, they're doing good. I like it because the product's good. And I've had so many people that come down from Philly and they go there, and some of them don't know me, some of them do, but they all say it's as close as you're going to get to the original. Everything comes from Philly, so we had to. I told a guy that I'm in business with, we had to be authentic on this. But honestly, I think the guy that I'm in business with, he wanted to move down here, but he couldn't figure out a way how. He had a business up in New Jersey that he sold at a young age and did very well. And he was over at the house one day, and he goes, what do you want to? I said, I got to do something. I said, I don't know what. And everyone keeps telling me, oh, open up a baseball academy, but those things are, and here's the thing, when can you do it during school? After school. Well, after school, my kids both play sports, and I coach. So when? I was going to give a lesson at 9 o'clock at night? That ain't happening. And so I said, that ain't going to work. And so this guy said, he goes, well, he said, there's no real cheesesteak places here. So we went around a bunch of different places and tried different cheesesteaks, and we even ended up in Sarasota one day just trying them out. And so we thought, well, let's give it a shot. So we opened one in Naples, and it did well. And then we opened one in Fort Myers, and it's doing good. So we're opening up another one out here at 7 Mile Cypress or something. I don't know.
6 Mile, yeah.
6 Mile. He texts me all the time with all these He just sent me a picture the other day of the Sarasota place. I'm like, when did we go there? He said, oh, we didn't tell you. Yeah, we got a place. It's kind of hectic right now, 'cause especially with traveling back and forth to do games for the Phillies. But Next week, I go up there for this weekend series, and then I come home. I think I'm home for 12 days, so I think we're going to take a day or two and go visit all these locations and see exactly where we're at with them.